Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala khatim al-anbiya, Imam al-anbiya, Ashraf al-mursaleen, wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'een, amma ba'd. The subject we have is a beautiful subject about the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and how it is a timeless example for us. And I didn't check this subject until I was walking in here. But subhanallah, I was thinking about this earlier today. Because nowadays, I don't know if it's me, so tell me if you feel the same way. You know, like we go through life and certain difficulties hit the ummah. Right? Like whether it's personally or as a ummah or a particular part of the ummah, and you feel like you want to do something. And you see others wanting to do something, but when they bring their solutions, you start getting like, wait, how is the disobedience of Allah going to make things better? Like you feel like, am I weird, or is the whole world not understanding that the nusrah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes with the obedience of the Quran and the Sunnah and the way of the Salaf al-Ummah, not by selling out the religion. Because sometimes this is how we're dealing with, we see a situation and we see Muslims suffering and each one of us feels that pain and we say, okay, you know, we need to do something. And the brother's like, yes, we need to do something. And then they're like, we're going to do the dabka, dance with some kuffar. And you're like, wait, what? did I get lost here or did you get lost here? Because that doesn't seem like the right thing to do to get the nusrah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then you tell them, you know, brothers, we know, or sisters, you know, we need to go back to the Quran and the Sunnah and the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they look at you like, what? No, we need to be more like the Yahud and this. And you're like, no, that's not the way of success. And this is why we look at the beautiful example of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in every walk of life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent His final prophet with such a complete way of life that the nations before us didn't have. We as Muslims, we love Ibrahim alayhi salam, we love Musa alayhi salam, we love Isa alayhi salam, we love Muhammad alayhi salatu salam, we love Nuh alayhi salam, we love all the Anbiya. And we respect them. And we believe in them equally, meaning we don't deny any of them. But if you think about it, for example, Isa ibn Maryam, they call him Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, a great prophet of Allah, a great example. But if we were to take his life and say this is the final map of how to conduct society till the day of judgment, and then somebody said, okay, well, how did he deal with the situation of being in war? And then you would say, well, he didn't deal with that. Okay, well, how is his interactions with his wife? Well, he never got married. What about with his kids? Well, he never had kids. Like, well, I mean, a great example and good akhlaq and all of that, no doubt, but it's not complete, right? Today, if we talk about Dawood alayhi salam or Musa alayhi salam, as much as we love them and respect them and they're great prophets, but if I was to ask you, what were the morning adhkar of Dawood alayhi salam? Nobody knows today. What was the style of eating of Musa alayhi salam? What was the Qiyam al-Layl? And of course, I'm sure he prayed. He was all the Anbiya. They prayed, they fasted, all that. But how did he pray? We don't know. And that's why people who profess to follow their way today make up their stuff, all bid'ah. The Christian religion today is almost completely bid'ah, the way you see it. Like right now, you go out and you see churches with lights and trees and decorations and you ask them, is this in the Bible? I haven't seen any verse about lighting up trees or Santa Claus coming down your chimney or, you know, stockings and gifts and candy canes and eggnog and all this is bid'ah. It's not in the Bible. Isa ibn Maryam didn't do it. Today, you will see some videos from the One Message Foundation. You'll see, sometimes we'll ask a Christian preacher, how did Jesus pray? And their prayer will not be like his today. And we ask him, how did he fast? How did he break his fast? How did he give sadaqah? How did he deal with charity? They will give some general, oh, he said to be kind. Like, okay, that's pretty broad. But there is no specifics. And when you walk into a church, today, everything you see is an innovation. The statues, the crosses, none of that's in the Bible. Isa ibn Maryam didn't tell them to do any of that. It's all innovated. The Pope and his red shoes and the white smoke and this and that, it's all made up. If you look at other traditions today, I was in Quds, may Allah free Palestine. You guys scared? Come on, man. You're at Ribat. Don't be scared, man. Huh? May Allah free Palestine. Amen. There you go, man. Yeah. I was in Quds and I saw some of the Yahud there. And when I saw them, out of curiosity, I asked them about their way of dress. Like we as Muslims, we just made salah. Every aspect of this salah we can prove to you from the Quran or Sahih Ahadith. From the ruku', from the sujood, from the adhkar. From where you put your hands, how you make, where you put your hand in ruku', where do you look in sujood, how do you fall, everything we can prove min al-kitabi wa sunnah. That's our religion. Beautiful. So I saw Jews, don't get worried, if I get cancelled, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah? And they took a chicken, and they had this thing where they were putting it over their head, a live chicken. Interesting. So I told them, you can Google this, by the way, you can see videos. Yeah? So I asked them, did Musa alayhi salam teach you this? No. Did Dawood alayhi salam teach you this? No. Is it in the Torah? No. In the Talmud? No. Where did you get this? Well, Rabbi Fulan said that if you do this, then your sins are forgiven, and live chickens are being tortured, and their wings are breaking, and all bid'ah. I saw them with big jackets, and huge hats, furry, big caps. Cool looking caps, I'm not dissing. No hate here, right? But I asked him, where did you get this from? Like, did Musa alayhi salam dress like that? Did Isa alayhi salam or Dawood alayhi salam or Sulaiman alayhi salam or the prophets that we can believe in, that you believe in, did any of them? No. In Europe, oh, that's interesting. Not even the Middle East. Let's go back to their roots, right? Have you seen those hats that are like big furry hats? You know where that started from? Yehudi told me. In Austria, a king wanted to mock the Yahud, so he made them wear fox tails as a mockery. And they said, you know what, let's own it. Let's make it like the N-word. Let's own it so that, people can, not make fun of it. So originally it started as a derogatory thing, but they owned it and they started wearing those. And now, when you go to Quds, where it's really hot, at that time it was really warm, you're wearing these big furry hats. Why? Not because in the Torah, not because Musa alayhi salam, because it's Austrian mockery that you've brought into your culture. The big black hats, the top hats, none of that is from their religion. It's all bid'ah. But alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserved this religion for us. First and foremost with the Quran, of course, with the preservation of the letter by letter, word by word, sound by sound, qira'at by qira'at of the Quran. But also with the life example of the walking Quran, which is the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. If we look at Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, it's an example till the day of judgment. How to deal with a wife, we can find in the seerah. How to deal with your children, we can find with the seerah. How to deal with your neighbor, we can find with the seerah. How to run a government, we can find in the seerah. How to give sadaqah, we can find in the seerah. How to pray in the night, we can find in the seerah. How to solve the issues that come between people, we can find in the seerah. How to deal with mirath, with inheritance, we can find in the seerah. What are the huquq of the husband, huquq of the wife, huquq of the children, we can find in the seerah. How to show the best akhlaq, we can find in the seerah. How to be a firm warrior, we can find in the seerah. How to wrestle somebody, we can find in the seerah. How to lead an army, we can find in the seerah. How to be kind to prisoners of war, we can find in the seerah. All of that preserved. And that's something beautiful. The seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a beautiful roadmap for us. How to give da'wah. How to deal with animosity. How to deal with people trying to kill you and commit a genocide against you. How to deal with people that want to make peace with you, to make peace with them. All of that in the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, one of the things that I get asked a lot, one of the questions I get asked a lot, how do you stay patient in da'wah? Because as you may see, and some of you know, when you go out to the streets, when you're not sitting in a stage somewhere or a studio, when you're actually on the streets, in the parks, giving da'wah, you come across all kinds of people that will yell at you, that will spit at you, that will scream at you, that will talk over you, that will not let you speak, right? And you're telling them like, you speak and then I speak, but they won't, right? Some that will physically attack you, right? How do you deal with that? Wallahi, the best example is the Prophet ﷺ. How do you stay patient? Always go back to how the Prophet ﷺ did it. Myself, I think about what a beautiful example Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was for us. Imagine you are somebody who lived your life in an exemplary way. Meaning, before prophethood, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not given the prophethood, when Jibreel alayhi salam did not come to him, before he was told, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, before all of that, 40 years you live with impeccable character. Your morality, your truthfulness, your trustworthiness, your dealings are perfect. Where everybody in your town accepts you as an example. They say you're sadiq, and they say you're ameen, and they love you. And you are married, you have children, you have a successful business, you are worshipping Allah, you don't make shirk, you're living that beautiful life. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts a responsibility upon you. Imagine that. Now, you weren't doing anything wrong to begin with. It's not like, you were out there drinking and partying and doing all that kind of nonsense, and now, no, you were doing good. But now you're told, قُمْ فَأَنذِرْ. This is from the responsibilities given to stand up and warn your people. Not just, اقْرَ بِسْمِ رَبِّكَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ. But the job that is given to you now is you're not just doing ibadah like you were already doing. The Rasul ﷺ was already praying to Allah. He was already at the Ghar in Hira, and he was looking at the Kaaba, and he was praying to Allah, and he was spending days there, and he was helping people. But now he's given a job that now you have to go and warn people. وَرَبُّكَ فَكَبِّرْ, and speak about the greatness of Allah. Now, what happens? Everybody attacks you. See, this is the thing. When you speak the haqq, then you're definitely going to get attacked. One of the earlier scholars of Jarh wa Ta'deel, they were talking about different people. They said there is a person in this town. He wasn't a scholar, but he was a person. They said everybody loves him. The Mu'tazila love him, the Jahmis love him, the people love him. Everybody loves him. So the scholar said, this is a man who has not spoken the truth. Because if he spoke the truth, then somebody will hate him. Some mubtadi', some person of shirk, some hasid is going to attack him. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got attacked from going from being sadiq and ameen to being sahir and kahin and majnoon. Imagine the stress you would go through. That at a time when everybody loves you and it's all good and you're doing everything right and people appreciate it, when they want to put the black stone, it's you that they all accept, and when they have a amana, a trust, it's you that they trust, and everybody loves you. And now you tell them, look, what you're doing is wrong. Worshipping these idols is wrong. You don't want anything from them, but you're speaking the truth. Now they're like, he's crazy. That guy, I know him. Don't listen to him. He's a magician. He's this, he's that. False allegations. Why? Because when you stand on the haqq, hasad is going to come. That's just the way it is. When Musa alayhi salam was living amongst his people, before Allah told him, idhab ila al-Fir'aun, before he was told, idhab ila Fir'aun, to go to Fir'aun and speak to him, before that, he had no problems. He was living in the mansion of Fir'aun. He was, even though he was from Bin Israel, but he was living the life of the pharaohs, raised in the house of Fir'aun. But the moment now that he speaks the truth and invites Fir'aun to the worship of Allah and tells Fir'aun, you're not Rabbukum al-Ala, you're not the Lord, the Most High. Now he's a murderer, now he's a magician, now he's conspiracy, now he's that. Why? Because that's the sunnah. When you stand on the haqq, the hardship will come. But now, for us today, because we're facing the same thing today. Today, you'll get invites. You're invited to be a speaker at this place, but you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say this, you're gonna say this, you're gonna say that, this. Now your options come. Sell out, become popular, get rich, get famous, or speak the truth. And if Allah raises your rank, Allah will raise it. If He doesn't, He doesn't. Right? Now, when that choice comes, how do you deal with it? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the best example for us. He was offered leadership. Like today, some people, some organizations and groups in our ummah, for leadership, they'll sell out anything. If you just allow them to take over the government or the organization, they will shake hands with any woman you like. They will go and sing with any singer they like. They will do whatever you want them to do as long as they can get leadership. But is that the sunnah? Is that the way to bring Islam? Is just to take over in any which way possible? No. Otherwise Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the Quraysh and the Arab. They told them, we'll make you the leader of the Arab. They had no king. We said, we'll make you our king. We will make you our leader. Just stop the da'wah. That's all we're asking. Stop talking about shirk. Stop saying that our aqidah is wrong. Don't talk about us. We'll leave you alone. You talk about us, we'll attack you. He was offered the most beautiful of women. If he wanted to just get married to many women, they told him, we'll get the most beautiful of the women of the Arab. We'll marry you to as many as you like. They offered him money. They said, we'll gather the wealth from the different tribes, the qabail of the Arab, will make you the wealthiest man of the Arab. In the stronger narration, he told them, even if you brought me a piece of the fire from the sun, I would not leave the da'wah. In some of the weaker narrations, he mentioned, if you put the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left hand, I will not leave this da'wah. But what we understand is that he gave them an impossible example to let them know it is not possible for me to sell out the religion. They made him many offers. Hey, you come to our church for Christmas, we'll come visit you for Eid. They didn't make him that offer, but that's the offer we get today. You come pour some water out for us, and we'll go and do this for you. Right? The Quraysh told them the same thing. We'll worship your Rabb for a year, and you worship our idols for a year. And some of the other narrations even said, we'll worship Allah most of the year. We'll give you the majority of the year, just a little bit. Worship the idols a little bit. Just a little bit. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, قُلْ يَهُ الْكَافِرُونَ, this is asbab al-nuzul for the surah. No. No compromise. You stand on your aqeedah. You stand on your belief. This is what I believe. I believe in the Quran. I believe the Quran is kalam Allah, غير مخلوق. I believe in the Sunnah, whatever is established in Al-Mustafa alayhi salatu salam min ahadith al-sahiha. I believe in it. I believe the best way is that of the Sahaba and the Salaf al-Salihin and the Tabi'un and the Tabi'un from those that were Salihin from amongst them. This is what I believe. You don't like it? Do whatever you want. It's not my religion to compromise. I believe in everything Allah ordained. If Allah ordained that a son gets 2 shares and a daughter gets 1, that's what I believe in. If Allah ordained a man can have 4 wives and a woman cannot, I believe in it. If Allah ordained that the hand of the thief is cut within the rules and regulations, I believe in it. You want to imprison me for my beliefs? Go ahead. Many better people before me were into jail. You look at Ibn Taymiyyah and Abu Hanifa and Yusuf alayhi salam and so on. Yeah. You want to exile me? No problem. I got places to go. Ardullah al-wasi'ah, the land of Allah is big. But that's where you stand firm. And you will get tested. Nobody said this dunya is going to be easy. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, imagine, he is in Mecca, in his own city, where again, before he started telling them what they're doing is wrong and calling towards Tawheed, he was loved. Now, there is plans to kill him constantly. There are publicity scandals going on. They're trying to say that, you know, he's a magician, that he's doing this, he's doing that, he's trying to take your leadership, he's trying to corrupt your youth, he's going to make you Wahhabis, you know, whatever. Nowadays, man. Yeah? He's going to do this, he's going to do that. That you know, public media campaign is going on against them. Then there are boycotts going on against them. Financial boycotts. You can't trade with them 3 years. You can't marry from them. Anybody that supports them, if you're not with us, you're against us. If you support the haqq, you're a terrorist. Like the same kind of media games they play today, they played the same thing. Shaitan's tricks are not new. He just replays them. So now, financial hardships, physical hardships, at that harsh time, you are, now imagine, this is why we go back to Seerah. It's not me and you. Me and you are sinful people. You are the best of mankind. You are the Imam for the Anbiya. You're the one that led the Anbiya. You are the Sayyid of Ibn Adam. You are the leader of all of the children of Adam. And you go to Ta'if, and what happens? They don't welcome you. They don't just turn you down. They hit you with rocks. And you're bleeding. And you're running. And Ta'if is not close. Those of you that have been to Mecca, even the drive to Ta'if is long. Imagine walking that. And it's very high in elevation. Imagine you're running and kids and crazy people and the street people are throwing rocks at you. For what? You would be like, forget it. I was trying to save you guys. I was trying to bring you the message of Tawheed so you don't go to hell. You want to go to hell? Go to hell. That's how I would be. I'm being honest. Like, don't fake it. Like, I don't like fakeness. You know, no, brother, I would be making dua for them. I don't think so, bro. You know, be honest. Don't fake piety. If somebody did that to me, I'd be like, all right. And the malaika then come to you and said, we'll destroy them. I'd be like, Ameen. Let's do this. You have the haqq. Nuh alayhi salam didn't make dua against his people. Yunus alayhi salam didn't leave his people get sick of them. Yeah. Thamud, Salih, they didn't make dua against their people didn't get destroyed. Yeah, you have the haqq. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this is the beautiful seerah. He's making dua for them. Oh Allah, guide them. If not them, from their children. You know, when you study Jarh wa Ta'deel, Ilm al-Rijal, you read Thaqafi. This tribe you see a lot, a Thaqafi. You know, this is all people from Ta'if. All of those would have finished if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua against them that day. We would have never had those scholars, those mujahideen, those great people that brought such service for Islam. Why? Because of the patience of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he made dua for them. Then you are sitting in your own house, minding your business, and you see the qabail, the different tribes of the Arab, even from the Quraysh themselves, from your own people, gathering outside with spears and swords, and from different tribes. So it's not like you're going to take them all on, waiting to kill you. Imagine that. You know, today, when you're honest, right? Today, sometimes we're like, man, like, why I gotta get looked at like this? Just because I got a beard, just because I'm wearing a thobe, just because I'm trying to follow the sunnah, why do I gotta go through these hardships? Why me? Like, even though we may not say it out loud, but we think it. Why my hijab gonna keep me from this? My abaya, my niqab, my this, my that. Why do I have to obey this or that? Why, right? Like, what if I was just a regular person and just lived my life? You know, wouldn't that be great, right? No. Because you would be in khasara. Remember, wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. That's the default. You're saved because of it. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq. You're not doing these things, you're not saved. You're lost. So be patient on those things. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't say, why am I doing all this? No. He knew that Allah would give him victory. That's why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ, Abu Bakr radiyan, Umar radiyan, Ibn Abbas radiyan, they made tafsir of this surah saying it's the time for the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the nusrah was a promise of Allah. When the nusrah came, your job is done. Think about that one later a little bit. Yeah. So here, now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's sitting in his house, and you see all these people around waiting to kill him. And there is no way out. I mean, there's not like a tunnel. You can't go above. You can't call 911. You can't get somebody to pick you up in a car. Your only way is to go, and your house is surrounded. But see, this is where tawakkul comes in. Not that you don't prepare, but when you have done everything on your end, you know that Allah will protect you. And you know that Allah will give you nusrah. And you know that Allah will fulfill His promise. Rasulullah didn't say, Allah promised that He was going to help me. Well, where's the help? Where's the angels coming in? Where is it going? No. He told Ali bin Abi Talib radiyallahu, you're going to be here. I will see you in Medina, inshaAllah. Because he knew that nusrah of Allah will come. And he made himself to that level of iman and taqwa and amal that the nusrah of Allah can come to. Today, that's our big problem. We have sold out so much. We have given up. Today, when it comes between judging by the laws of Allah or the laws of kufr, the majority of us, we go to kufr today. When Allah has ordained something, how can we go for something else? And then how can we expect that the nusrah of Allah will come when we're leaving the kitab of Allah, when we're leaving the sunnah of al-Mustafa alayhi salatu wasalam, when we're selling out all of that for the ways of kuffar, the ways of fusaq, the ways of mushrikeen, and then we think the nusrah of Allah will come? No. It's not the sunnah of Allah. Here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was he killed? No. Did he go to Medina? Yes. Did he see Ali radiyan in Medina? Yes. Somebody asked Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyan, how did you sleep on a night knowing that there were men with swords and spears waiting to come and kill you, knowing that it was the dark of night, knowing that you were in the bed of the one they wanted to kill? How did you sleep? He said, from the best sleep in my life. He said, how? He said, because when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told me, I will see you in Medina inshaAllah, I knew that would happen. I had no fear. Complete belief in the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is constant struggle. It's not like he got to Medina and it was smooth sailing from there. Badr, Uhud, Khandaq. And in Khandaq there was to be a genocide. They surrounded Medina with 10,000 plus from the different tribes. They were going to finish off the Muslims. But Allah had not written that. The soldiers of Allah are many. The wind, the storm, the birds. This is the nusrah of Allah. Malaika came in Badr. Sahaba saw Malaika. Kuffar saw Malaika. Brothers, don't think those Malaika are gone. There are accounts you can read today. I was reading a Russian soldier. I'm going to try to not get ourselves arrested here. So, I was reading the account of a Russian soldier in Afghanistan. And this is something in the 70s and 80s. And I'm not talking about thousands of years ago. And this is not from a Muslim. This is an account. You can Google it, find it online. From a Russian soldier. He said, when we were fighting the Muslims in Afghanistan, he said, we saw, and we have brothers here that were there so they can attest more to this. He said, we saw them and we saw our armies, and we outnumbered them, we surrounded them. And we were in a place of an easy victory against them. He said, but then I saw those that were in white on horses that came from behind us, that went through us, destroyed our tanks, and they didn't even have a weapon on them. These were Russians. And these were their accounts. So know that the nusrah of Allah is there today. And it can come today. But it is us who have to change ourselves. And until we change ourselves, our situation will not change. And we will not change, and we will not benefit, and we will not resurrect this ummah except by going back to the original state. I'm not saying that we don't drive cars, that we drive, ride around in camels. No, those are adat, those are urf, that is traditions, that is from the things of the time. It's time for, I'm not saying you got to go walk around with arrows and swords. Guns are guns, right? Cars are cars, planes are planes, cell phones, no problem. But how is your ibadah? How is your aqeedah? How is your manhaj? Those things don't change with technology. The Quran is the Quran. The sunnah is the sunnah. The aqeedah is the aqeedah. The manhaj is the manhaj. Go back to it. Stand firm on it. Don't worry about what people say about you. Don't worry about being cancelled. Don't worry about being made to look like as if you are too hard, too extreme, Alhamdulillah, Islam is the deen of wasat. It's a middle path. We don't believe in extremism. We don't believe in liberalism, and we don't believe in extremism. We believe in al-wasat, the middle path. What is the middle path though? Because everybody will say, my path. No. Zin bil kitabi was sunnah. You weigh it with the Quran and a sunnah of al-Mustafa alayhi salatu salam. You go back to the seerah. I tell you, today we say things, but we don't mean it. We say things, but we don't mean it. A brother will get up and say, our success in this life and the hereafter lies in obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way shown to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Beautiful. What a beautiful statement. Our success in this life and the hereafter relies in obeying Allah and the sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What a beautiful statement. I love it. You tell the brother, that's beautiful. By the way, what you're doing is not according to sunnah. Here's the hadith, here's the Bukhari, here's the Abu Dawud, here's Tirmidhi, here's the Sihah. No, brother. Sorry. Our elder said no. Wait, what? No, Buzurgs. You're Wahhabi? This is our thing. What happened to obeying Allah? What happened to the sunnah of al-Mustafa alayhi salatu salam? Huh? That's why even the Khawarij, they would say al-hukm lillah. Right? The hukm is only for Allah. Ali ibn Abi Talib said, al-qawl al-haq wal-murad bihi batil. He said the statement is true, but what they mean by it is batil. Today we say, we love the sunnah, we love Rasulullah sallallahu. I was in another country, and this brother came to me and he said, you don't love the Prophet sallallahu. I don't even know the brother. I was like, why do you say that? I love Rasulullah. He goes, because when his name is mentioned, you don't kiss your hands. In the adhan, but he said azan, when they say Muhammad, they said, you're supposed to do this, I think I'm joking, man. You go to this country, you'll see him. I'm not going to mention the name, but Mukarram just came from it. So they're like, you got to do this. That's how you love Rasulullah. I told him, brother, first thing, maybe you could have grown your beard a little bit, right? I mean, I'm just saying, if you brought, I didn't say anything to you. I mean, but now that you brought it up, right? What did Rasulullah order about trimming the mustache, growing the beard? Maybe you shouldn't be dragging your clothes on the gutter as you walk. I'm just saying, right? Maybe you should have made rak'atayn between adhan and iqamah, because Rasulullah told us to do those things. Show me the hadith where he said kiss your hands, and I'll do it. I'm with it, no problem. Show me the hadith, I'm with it. You've made up your own mindset that this is what it means to love Rasulullah. No, Rasulullah told us that you will not be a believer until I become more beloved to you than your father, than your children, than all of mankind. And then he continued in another hadith, he explained that this means that whatever I order you, do it. Whatever I forbid you from, leave it. And that is what the Quran has ordered us. That is the obedience of Rasulullah. That is the love for Rasulullah. The following the way of Rasulullah. Not making up your own way. Today, a woman will say to her husband, you know, Rasulullah used to help wash dishes. You know, he used to help around the house. I would have loved to be married to him. You know how many wives he had? Right? You know how often he wasn't there when he was gone? You know how often Rasulullah ﷺ would have no food in the house? You know how many months would go by and they would be living off water and dates? You know how many months would go by and a fire would not be lit? It's not that he couldn't, you know when his child died. When the child of Rasulullah ﷺ died, he didn't come to the house. He was busy with the ummah. You sure you can handle it? You can talk, but do you walk the walk? You talk the talk, but do you walk the walk? That's the question. Right? Brothers today will say, I wish I was in the time of Rasulullah ﷺ. I wish I was in Badr. I wish I was a Badri Sahabi. I wish Allah gave me that. In Badr, the Sahaba fought their own fathers and children. They fought their uncles. Mus'ab radiyan anhu in Uhud, he was cut. His arm was cut. He held the flag with his other arm. His other arm was cut. He held the flag with his bosoms. He was shot with arrows. He stayed firm. Today, if you cut your finger, wallahi, you're going to be like, brother, you go ahead, man. I just cut my finger, bro. I got it. Amr ibn Jamu'. These young Sahaba. Young. So young, they were almost too young to be even in the battle. It's a long hadith. I'm just going to mention part of it. When they see Abu Jahl in Badr, and they dart for him. These young kids, Ikramah and others are protecting Abu Jahl. He's on a horse. These guys are on foot. But they realize this is the enemy of Allah. This is the enemy of the Messenger ﷺ. This is the enemy of Islam. So young teenage, early teen boys, they dart. One of them, his arm gets cut. Imagine you. Your arm is cut. Not anesthesia, not an operation. You're in the middle of a battle. A sword hits you and it cuts your arm so it's dangling. What do? Faint. Be honest. Cry. Run back and say, okay, somebody's got to take care of this. Time out, guys. Well, time out, guys. Your arm is dangling. What does he do? He steps on it, rips it off, continues fighting. Thank Allah for where you are. You don't know what you would do in those situations. The beautiful seerah and the example of the Sahaba and the Salaf al-Salihin are a guide for us. And they will continue to be a guide for us. The Quran, the Sunnah, the way of the Salaf al-Ummah, these are our paths of success. And we need to stick to that, and we need to be upon that, and we need to cling to it with our molar teeth and be firm on it and go through the tests and tribulations that we're being put through with that. Not with emotions, not with politics, not with compromise, not with sacrifice, not with selling out, not with being apologetic about it. None of that. Kitab wa Sunnah. And if we do that, wallahi, Allah will make us successful. We will be from the firqa najah. We will be the firqa mansura. That even if we are few, Allah will give us victory over victory. We will not be overcome. Till today, 1400 years plus, we have seen this ummah where the salihin will become very few, but their aqidah, their manhaj, their methodology will always stay dominant. We saw it in Ibn Qudama's time, Ibn Taymiyyah's time, and we saw it in earlier times and past times, and Imam Ahmad's time, and all of that. And we'll see it today. And if we sell out from it, you might get temporary fame. You might get temporary political gains. But wallahi, you will be a loser in dunya and akhirah if you sell out from the Quran and Sunnah. I will just mention one last thing. In the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were many who were famous for their poetry. And there were many that were famous for their good looks, handsomeness, or beauty for women. And there were many that were famous for their wealth. And there were many that were famous for their wisdom, their intellect. Today, none of us even know their name. And if they died on shirk, they're all in the nar. But people like Julaybib radiallahu anhu, people like Bilal radiallahu anhu, people like Khubab radiallahu anhu, people like Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, people that people would have thought as the lowest of people, when they became strong, imsakan, firm on the Quran and Sunnah, Allah raised their ranks in dunya. Allah made them umara, leaders. Bilal radiallahu was the Amir of Sham, the richest area in Ummah at the time. He was the darkest of the Sahaba, in charge on the whitest of the Ummah at the time. Because they didn't care about color. They didn't care about being a slave. They cared about his taqwa. His sticking to the Quran and Sunnah. And the akhirah, he will be in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam going into Jannah. Right? Allah will make them successful in dunya and akhirah. Today, where is Fir'aun? And where is Musa alayhi salatu wasalam? So keep this in mind as we go through life. And I hope this short reminder, or not short enough maybe, is a reminder from myself and my brothers and sisters in Islam. And inshallah we're going to continue with the other talks going on. Our brother Gabriel Rahmani is here, mashallah. And we also have talks tomorrow and the day after, just reminding everybody, inshallah ta'ala. So we're going to take a short break. No QA right now. Inshallah, we'll have him speak after the